Despite his childhood being a living hell, 5 of his last 6 albums have charted on the billboards, and the independent rapper shows no signs of slowing down. Young Dolph has definitely made a name for himself in the music industry, with many beloved fans all over the globe. However, just like plenty of other rappers we cover on this channel, he has a controversial past and has quite a few beefs with fellow rappers and a criminal past. In today's video, we're going to delve into why rappers are really scared of Young Dolph. Young Dolph beefs. Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti, Memphis's biggest rap artist in recent years, has developed as a popular figure in the rap game, with tracks like I Know and Down in the DM both raising the once independent hustler's national prominence. Yo Gotti has developed a mini empire for himself with his CMG label, which includes fellow Memphis rappers with the likes of Snooty Wild and Black Youngsta, among others. In addition to his stardom, while Yo Gotti is the most well-known Memphis musician of this decade, he has some strong competition, one of which includes up-and-coming rapper Young Dolph, a Chicago-born, Memphis-raised rapper who has been making some serious noise of his own. Young Dolph founded Paper Route Empire in 2008, and his high-class street music mixtape quickly became a hit, leading to collaborations with Gucci Mane and Pee Wee Longway. Dolph, whom Yo Gotti had earlier attempted to sign to his CMG imprint, was beginning to challenge his city's older statesmen in terms of buzz and fanfare, which would eventually cause a breach between the two. Young Dolph appeared on Sway in the Morning in 2014 after the release of his mixtape High Class Street Music 4, American Gangster, to discuss the project. Dolph discussed his decision not to sign a record deal with Yo Gotti during the interview, noting that he would rather see his personal investment in himself than grab onto another artist's movement. Young Dolph and Yo Gotti's feud became public knowledge. Dolph sent a subliminal shot at his Memphis counterpart on February 11, 2016. Dolph used Twitter to express his displeasure with Yo Gotti's burgeoning fame, stating, "Bra went from being my #1 fan to trying to sign me to being my biggest hater," in reference to Gotti's failed effort to sign Dolph to his CMG label. Despite that fact, Dolph did not mention Gotti by name. It was evident who Dolph's statements were directed at, and it was clear that Dolph's words would start off a series of events that would quickly escalate the fight. The beef between the two continued to bubble and rise between the two rappers. In 2017, Young Dolph delivered a bomb with Play With Yo B, a diss track directed at Yo Gotti in which the rising star removed his gloves and threw jabs below the belt. Dolph presents his opponent as a hater, rapping "You came up rhyming," dissing 3-6 Mafia, in addition to harsh broadsides, and alludes to having relations with the mother of Gotti's child. In 2018, Young Dolph was the victim of a shooting in Hollywood and was transported to the hospital months later, pronouncing his fight with Yo Gotti to be old news. While facts were scant, it was stated that Dolph was outside of Shoe Palace at the time of the shooting, near the junction of Hollywood and Highland. Yo Gotti was designated as a person of interest by the LAPD just hours after reports of rapper Young Dolph being shot in Hollywood. Yo Gotti and Young Dolph were both staying at the Lowe's Hotel at the time of the incident, according to sources. However, it was later announced that he wasn't a person of interest anymore. A day after news of Young Dolph's shooting in Hollywood broke, the Los Angeles Police Department stated that a Yo Gotti associate had been charged with attempted murder in connection with the event. Corey McClendon, a member of Yo Gotti's entourage, was arrested the day after the shooting and jailed on $1 million of bond, according to Detective Megan Aguilar, an LAPD spokesman. He was later released, and the beef between the two rappers has seemed to quiet down, but we know for a fact that the pair are not friends in the slightest. Black Youngsta. When it comes to beef, Black Youngsta isn't afraid to get his hands dirty, especially when it includes old foes like Young Dolph. The two Memphis rappers have been feuding for years, and Youngsta has apparently decided to remind Dolph that they're still at odds just years later. Youngsta added a fresh chapter to the drama in August of 2020, premiering new songs on Instagram. Youngsta raps along to the beat while riding in the backseat of a car, aiming a gun towards the camera. Soon after, he opens the passenger door and fires a couple rounds, aimed directly at Young Dolph to emphasize his point. Youngsta was accused of shooting over 100 bullets at Dolph in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2017, prompting the video and Dolph tag. The accusations against Youngsta were eventually dismissed, but the bad blood continued to flow, as did Dolph's long-standing feud with Youngsta's mentor Yo Gotti. Many assumed that Yo Gotti was to blame for Black Youngsta's decision to take the conflict into his own hands when he began dissing Young Dolph, but the CMG boss would say differently. Yo Gotti didn't address a beef with Young Dolph Dolph during an interview with Tim Westwood, but he did comment on Black Youngsta's recent shenanigans and threats against Gotti's opponent. "Lil homie on the team, so I'm going to always give him the proper advice that I believe I should give him from a big brother standpoint, or just being the homie standpoint," Gotti states in the clip. "My advice? You know I don't move like that. I'm going to always tell, not only him, but any youngin, don't handle your business like that." Legal issues. Crew arrested for gun possession. Young Dolph, a Memphis rapper, made the news once again in 2018, but it was because of his crew members. According to online sources, the rapper was the only member of his entourage who was not caught during a Hollywood gun bust. A traffic stop on Sunday resulted in the arrest of 3 males who were in the car with the rapper. They were all detained for having a handgun in their hands. Because Dolph, whose true name is Adolph Thornton Jr., was not armed, he was released during the traffic check. The traffic stop, according to online sources, was not far from where Dolph was shot in September of 2017. According to online sources, the fact that young Dolph and his entourage had been shot at before could be the reason why the gang was strapped. Young Dolph's feud with an artist signed to Yo Gotti's record company, Black Youngsta, is well documented, with the two groups exchanging gunfire on many occasions. Almost arrested in 2019. Even if it was just for a short time, Dolph was once again in the hands of law enforcement. Police stopped Dolph while he was driving around in Fairburn, Georgia on November 8, 2019, according to a report published by TMZ. Dolph was reportedly stopped by cops after they noticed he was driving around with an expired paper license plate. Dolph apparently continued driving for a few blocks after the officers turned on their lights, then threw a leafy stuff out of his window. Dolph can be seen on his knees with his wrists cuffed behind his back in the video of the police confrontation. Cops allegedly inspected his yellow Lamborghini SUV, but no narcotics, firearms, or other contraband were discovered. Police were apparently unable to identify whether the green item Dolph tossed out was cannabis because it was dispersed over a busy road. The officers were unable to apprehend Dolph based on their search. Instead, they chose to issue a penalty for trash and let the rapper go. Although the rapper got in no real trouble for this incident, it adds to his history with authorities and how he continues to get himself in the wrong situations and around the wrong people. This is part of the reason rappers don't typically associate with young Dolph. You can see he doesn't have the best track record and is a bit of a liability. And there you have it, everything you need to know regarding why rappers are really scared of young Dolph.